Hi, my name is Ligita, and today I'm going to be speaking about visual hierarchy and actually why we need it. But before dive into this topic, I want to also introduce with myself. I am designer, and I started my design journey from a university where I get my bachelor degree in graphic design field. After that, I started working in a startup where I gained skills in this type of thing that you have to work alone in a business and have to also manage this thing between business and design. And the second job was a totally different field. It was banking, which gave me also a really nice experience in this field. And currently, I'm working in a Chile labs as user experience and user interface designer. And I have an amazing team, which you also can meet here. I'm happy and glad you are here. And between my daily life and job, I also do some sports, as you can see in these pictures. And this is what inspires me to do a better design and do more interesting in design. And today's topic is visual hierarchy, as I told you. And today we will discuss why we need it and why it is important. And actually why I choose this topic. During my experience, I found that this is the most important part of the design of user interface design, and you cannot start your design without this part. And this is one of these most important blocks of the design. And what it is, visual hierarchy? A visual hierarchy is the order in which the user processes information by the importance. In interface design, like in other forms of design, this concept is necessary to be functional at sight. Okay, I can read you all the Wikipedia about this, and you will not understand at all what does it mean, and maybe you will not find in the end of the presentation what it is about. So maybe you just remember your school time, and maybe you just remember maybe your college time or university, and you had the notes. And when you just wrote something from what teacher said, or maybe what just came in your mind, you just wrote it in the notes, and maybe grab a marker and mention it with the other color. So there started your visual hierarchy journey. So you just did it because you wanted to understand your notes in the future when you open these notes. And this is what we will gonna be talking about today. And I want you to understand it better. So here is the example of the web, how it works from a website. Now you can see the product page, where is a really big title, and this title like screaming at you, and your focus is on this title. And this is the first thing which you see in this screen. This is what wanted to do Apple, to see what product is it, in which page you are. The second thing which you will see in this page is these buttons, like buy or learn more, but buy button is much more bigger and much more brighter. So you would first will see it. And only in the third, you will see the menu of the products. And for example, if you do not want to buy AirPods, but you will still be in this page, because maybe they are just suggesting you to maybe find another options. Maybe you need AirPod Max. And if you are not needed in AirPod Max, they are just showing you should use menu and maybe buy an iPhone. And you still stay in this page. And maybe you will buy something you need or maybe don't need. This is how it works in the web. And now we will talk about the main things in visual hierarchy. It's size, color, alignment, proximity, repetition, negative space, and typography. And I will tell you about each of it and why we actually need it. The first one will be size. You can see here, I will call it bubbles, and which one of these is grabs your attention much more. Yeah, actually, I guess the bigger one, because it's the bigger. And here how it works, visual hierarchy. Our eyes are catching the biggest elements on the screen, on the telephone, on the phone, sorry. And only after that, they are catching the smallest one, because they are like secondary things. But here is also example. Maybe you see difference of these bubbles. Left one is
because the screen page left and after that.
yeah, but the main thing was in this screen, like this right one is a bit smaller, but only 20 pixels. But usual user cannot see it. And if you will make these elements in your design similar sizes and maybe just switch maybe 5 pixels or 6 pixels, user will not see it. So you have to mention the most important element with the bigger, and after that only smaller one. So user can obviously like understand what you want from them. And there are examples what I want you to show. This is just only examples, not the best apps. This is the only I wanted to show you. In the first screen, you see that they are using a big image because they wanted you show the main thing on this screen. Like they wanting you to show what you can see, for example, in these TV Plus. And in the second one, they with a big text mentioned that you should get appointment reminder, and user will easily understand what they want from you. If this text will be much more smaller, you will need to read all this below description. And the third example is Spotify. Actually, you understand in which musician page you are, because this title is really big, and also you will not miss this play button, because it's the most important thing in this app. And example from the web, MailChimp. They are just describing that MailChimp gets it done. They just want you to know that you have to trust them, and that's all. And this is how it works, actually. The next block will be color. Maybe you can tell me which one takes more traction of this. Yeah, I guess so, yeah. The brightest one, of course, takes your attention a lot more. And our eyes are working like that, so you first mention the brightest color, and after that only more calm and more lightest one. And what about these ones, bubbles? Yeah, here it's a bit tricky because your eyes do not understand which one is more brighter, and here contrast play the role, so they are looking totally the same. And there is the thing why you should not use in a design, in a one page, a lot of colors. So user will not understand what you want from them to read at the first and the second if you will use a lot of colors. And maybe user will miss something important. And this is when you are trying to put a lot of colors in one design. And here are the examples. In the first screen, you totally will see the first button, agree, because it's the main thing on this screen, and you should press it. Only after that you will see the not now button, because it's the secondary one and it's not that bright. And in the second example, Airbnb just wanted you to reserve this apartment. This is the most important and primary thing in this screen. So this button like screaming at you. And in the third one, is the same as in Airbnb. They just want you to book event and go through the next steps. And here is example of the web, where they are using a lot of colors, but this get started for free button is much more colorful and brighter than the other colors, so you will see it at first. And the next block is alignment. There are two groups of bubbles, and which one you just like feel that they are looking better? Yeah, I guess the alignment one, because here you really do not understand if they are related or is it a one group or not. Maybe in the first example you see that it's a two columns and they are related to each other. But in the second one, you do not understand fully. And as you can see in example, in the first one, from the left side is the information about your sport, and from the right side there is icon about this sport, and user can easily read this information because it's aligned. If it's not going to be aligned, for user it will be hard to read it and understand it. In a second screen you can see the store shop. It's from the left side they have shop logos, and from the right side the name of the shop. And here is the same, so he can go through these stores and found what he wanted. And the third one is, as usually you use some shopping app, here the same, so you understand that here is under the picture the information about this product, and your eyes are catching this all information one by one. And example from the web. Here is also horizontal alignment, where you can see all the logos, and your eyes are catching like it's a one part, or what's with whom they are working. And here you can see a bad example. It was election in Florida, where actually people was confused about where to press and where to press this vote. So they was confused, and by accident they was voting for Pat Buchanan instead of George Bush. And accidentally a lot of people voted for Pat Buchanan, but they wanted to see these lines are going to this round, and they thought that it is related to George Bush. And the next block is proximity. In other words, how to place elements close to each other and why it is important. Here you also can see two examples. In the first one example, you obviously can see that they are related to each other. And in the second one, it's hard to tell if it is one thing or just one card or not. And here's also example why you should not place elements too close to each other. It will be also hard for user to understand it and read it. If it will be like in a one row or in a one line, he will miss some information or just swipe to the next app or something. And here is examples. First example is IKEA shop. And here you can see the table name, and below it, it's about this table. So you understand that this information is related to this desk, and you can easily understand what does it mean. In the second example, there are a lot of plants, and because these plants are separated and information in this card is placed close to each other, you understand that there is 3 plants and you have to choose one of them. And the third example is about the sport app, where you also can read information about your activities and understand that this information is related to your movings, and read all information one by one because it's in one card and it's close to each other. And here is example of the web, where you understand that this title is related to this description because they are close to each other. And next block is repetition. I guess it's hard to say if these elements are like in one card. And here you totally understand that they are in one part and they are related to each other. Here, your eyes just thinks why they are so different, and you do not understand why there is a lot of the colors. And the same users perceive the information from a website and also from apps. They really like when you repeat something, and it's much easier for them if you repeat some card or maybe button. For them, it's much more easier to understand and go through this app. And here is the examples of shopping app, where you can just view the image of the app, and below it you just read the information about it. And these cards are looking the same, so user will go through it easily. And the second example is exchange screen, where you press enter just the amount, and the next card is looking totally the same, so user will press in the next card and understand what to do in the next card because they already did it in the first one. And the third example is about renting a flat. So from the left side, they just go through the images, and from the right side, they just see the price. This is the most important things they want from rent. And they just go through these cards and can find everything they want. If this information will be not structured and will be like chaotically placed here, it will be hard for user to understand it. And here is example where company wanted to show about themselves, and you easily go through these titles and understand what they are doing. Negative space and the white space. Is it hard for you to understand which one of these elements is better to understand? Obviously, maybe the first one, it's much more easier because it's alone. And the second one, it's harder to understand which is the primary one and which is the secondary because they are looking the same. And here, why negative space is important? Because you should show your user what is the most important thing in the screen. And if you will put a lot of elements in one screen, it will be hard for them to perceive this information and understand it, actually. And first example, they just want you to enter the phone number so there is not a lot of information in this screen, because you have to just put a phone number, and that's it on this screen. The second one screen, they just wanted you to enter first name, last name, and go next. That's it. And third one, they are just showing you a big image, so you just need to go through this image and just wanted to go to this class or go to this event. So you are just paying attention more to this image, and only that show dates. And example from the web, where with a big title they are just showing you what they are doing or what they want from you. And there is not a lot of elements in this screen, so you understand what it is about. And the last one block is typography. And which one of these is more easier to read? Yeah, I guess the left one, yeah. Because in this example, you can see that the title here are bold, and also text is much more smaller, and the title is in the other color. So you can understand with your eyes that this is the primary thing, title, and the secondary is description text. In the second example, it's hard to understand which is primary here, and also hard to read this description text, because it's close to each other and hard to understand what does it mean. And here is example. The first one is they just wanted you to agree, to greet you, and they're just saying hey, and below that is description text, which maybe none of you read, and just go through these next steps. The second example, they are with a big title, are showing you in which tab you are. So in this screen, you obviously see that it is in radio. And the last one, they, with a big title, just showing what they are doing and what they want from you. And only after that, they are just give you the small description of it. And the example from the web, also with a big title, just show about themselves, and only after that, with a small description text, showing a bit more. And here is exercise for you to maybe train your visual hierarchy skills. Maybe you can tell me what should be improved in these screens. Spacing. Yeah, that's right. What else, maybe? Yeah, totally. In the first one example, you can see that there is a small spacing between title and description text, and also a problem with the alignment in the card. And in the second example, elements are not aligned, and it's hard to perceive the information from this screen. And maybe you can tell me here what should be improved here.
In the right, I will make the bottom with the right color because
Mm-hmm.
it's our main goals. And in the left, I may be less element because a lot of people move. And in first screen, between line, we should add air.
Mm-hmm.
And this messaging with people also little, a lot of elements.
Yeah. In the first screen, there is a lot of elements, and it's hard to understand what they want from you, and user will just be confused what they need to do in this screen. And yeah, and actually in the second screen, the text is not aligned, and it's hard to understand this all information from this. And the last one, Maybe you can tell what we should improve in these screens.
Most of the screen button absent totally.
Yeah. This title actually is also looking a bit strange, and you do not understand if it is related to these numbers or it's not. And in the next screen, these elements are too close to each other, so it's hard to read them and go through this screen. And the last one.
There are so many problems.
Yeah.
I don't know what to begin.
In the first one, I guess there is too much of colors, and it's hard to attract attention to the one thing. And in the second one is alignment, obviously, and also text is going to the picture, and it's hard to read it. And in the conclusions, I want you to remember that size, user notice larger elements more easily. Color, bright colors typically attract more attention than muted ones. Alignment, out of the alignment elements stand out over the aligned ones. Proximity, closely placed elements seems related. Repetition, repeating styles can suggest content is related. Negative space, more space around elements draws the eye towards them. Typography, use the best font, color, and contrast to present few levels of text. And I hope you get some information. After that, you will not do such a design like this. Thank you so much. And I'd be glad to answer to your questions.
So any questions?
Can you bring back the slide with the website of 96?
It's a usual US site. I know a lot of different sites. I would compare between our site, between Latam market site, because in Brazilian market it's a very beautiful, perfect. But when you come to US site, it's the same, and they like this site. And usually his IT solutions the same. And when they see our solutions, they amazing, because it's normal for them. For them.
They just wanted to make it simpler.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have any more questions? All right, then.
I have a tiny one.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Were
Yeah.
all the examples you were showing, I'm fine.
We need it for YouTube. We are recording it. That's why we need it for YouTube.
I just wanted to know if all the examples you were showing, are they from real life apps and
They are
websites, or they just made up?
these all apps are real.
All of them, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also the
Also
bad
the-
ones. Yeah.
Ah, yeah? Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Any more questions? We have also a small gift for question.
If you have a really good question.
Okay, no gift.
I guess that's it. Thank you, Ligita, again.
Thank you.
It was great. All right.